Hey there, Cozy Babe, and welcome back to the Cozy Babes Club. I'm your host, Chloe Taylor, and as a follow up from last week, I feel like we're still gonna. Oh my gosh, there is a beautiful bird outside. Oh my gosh, my friend told me to refill the bird feeder so I could see these cool birds, and I didn't even do that, and there's just birds. Wow. I will try to insert a photo of what I'm seeing. I'm sitting in front of a window because I didn't bring any of my studio lights with me. Oh my God, there's two. Sorry. Oh my gosh, what did I do to be so blessed? Oh, my husband is going to be so jealous. These birds are stunning. I think this is the parrots she was talking about. Anyways, you know what? Let's crack a poppy and then we'll get to talking. Ugh, okay. Cheers. Y'all, I have no idea what I want to talk about today. And so I asked all of y'all on Instagram what we should talk about. And this isn't like a Q&A necessarily. It's going to be just like a smattering of things because if you watched last week's episode, you know that I'm not well. Okay? I am still very much going through a crisis of faith. I am in the beautiful state of Hawaii right now, which I need to just say that I understand from the outside without context what a privilege that I have to even be here. And this is extreme privilege. Okay. I can call it I call a spade a spade. But I do need y'all to know that even though somebody finishing a workout, I need to put my shit on do not disturb. Hold on. Even though I'm literally on the vacation of a lifetime, the only reason I was able to come and do this is because my friend, who I am house sitting for, and taking care of her animals, literally bought my plane ticket and paid for my room and board so that I could be here. There is no other way that this would have worked right now in my current situation. And thankfully, I'm in a position where my work can be taken on the road. My work is remote. And I've actually never done this before in my entire life. I have never taken my camera and been like, you know what, we're just going to take the show on the road. So the next like 3 weeks of content are all going to be here. So we might see like interesting locations. Today, I'm actually in my friend's kitchen that I just lovingly cleaned. I'm in the kitchen. You can't see the dog, but he is here. I'm not going to say his name because he will get up from his bed, and I don't want that right now. But I am still very much going through it, even though I am on a vacation of a lifetime. I think having to spend this much time by myself has actually been what I've needed. And I think that the episodes that come out of this time that I spend here are probably going to be some of the best. So hit the subscribe button if you didn't already. Follow the podcast wherever you're listening to it. I think that I'm going to get a lot of like eye-opening insight. Also, the eclipse just happened this week, and this eclipse happened on top of my career house. So I think there's going to be a lot of big feelings. There already has been, but like I feel like this chapter of my life right now is a very interesting one. And I think I'm going to have a lot of information and like downloads. I don't know what we're calling it right now. I'm going to have a lot of insight, I think, that's going to come out of this time because I've never done anything like this before, ever in my entire life. Like, I need y'all to understand I am an extremely codependent person, okay? I deal with extreme codependency in my life. It didn't used to be this way. I used to be very, very, very independent, probably hyper independent actually, and I have swung the other way now. And I think this has been a really, really good thing for my marriage, my relationship with my spouse. I think honestly, after, if you haven't heard about this, go back and listen to older episodes of my podcast. But I think after my mental health crisis of 2021, I became a very, very, very introverted, codependent person. And it's trauma. Trauma did that to me. Ooh, my phone almost fell. Shit. It's trauma. Trauma did that to me. I stopped being independent. I stopped driving the car. I stopped going out. I stopped making new friends. I stopped having a lot of community events, even like online. I stopped doing so many things and I became this like really small version of myself. And in doing that, I think I've given up so much of my own personal power. And I was really nervous to come on this trip, very nervous. I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't even drive a car every day because I get scared. Like, how am I gonna take care of someone's entire life while they're not home and also like drive to new places that I've never been? And I'm happy to tell y'all, and we'll probably get into it more, that I have done more in the last 3 days than I have probably done in months by myself. And it feels really good. I feel like I am somehow regaining this like independence that I almost didn't know that I'd lost. And it feels good. Also, if I'm squinting kind of weird in this episode, if you're watching it, I'm sitting in front of this really bright window because I didn't pack my lights with me. So I apologize if there's a lot of like blinking and whatnot. I'm not used to this kind of setup. But anyways, I asked y'all over on Instagram what you wanted to hear about this week. And some of these might be questions, but we're just going to see what y'all wrote in. And I'm going to do my best to talk about those things because I'm still not really in the best space to be like plotting episodes out and stuff. And I feel like this is just easier to give you what you want. So if there's something that you want to hear about in the coming few weeks, please make sure that you follow me on Instagram. I'm at Kloee Taylor. And I will probably post things like this again in my stories, so just write something in or DM me. This person, I'm not going to say people's names either. This person said, worthiness. How do you feel worthy enough for the things that you want? I honestly think the best thing you can do for yourself if you are struggling with worthiness is you need to deconstruct that. You need to sit with yourself, preferably with a journal or with a therapist if you are able to do so, though I understand not everybody has that option. You need to deconstruct what worthiness means because when you were born worthy. You didn't have any concept or conceptualization of what it meant to be worthy or not worthy of something. And somebody else drilled that program into your head. And everything that we know is conditioning. So if you were born without it, that means that you can also get rid of it. And I honestly think that worthiness, it comes down to, for me in the past anyways, it comes down to a lot of feeling shame about the things that we want or things that we desire, like we shouldn't want them or desire them. I used to carry this really deep shame around basically being bougie and like liking luxury. And I'm not talking about like handbags and shit. I'm talking about like, I am somebody that loves a 5-star resort. I am somebody that loves like, if I buy Bath and Body Works candles, I don't want to burn one, I want to burn two. I just enjoy the experience of luxury. And there are so many people in the world that just they don't think they can have that for themselves. And so they will shame anybody who does that in front of them. And I carried this around forever. And I feel like I would constantly attract like friends that were really frugal and would judge me. And then it actually was one friend that looked at me one day, an awesome, amazing friend, that was like, Kloee, I love that about you. When I was like feeling kind of shameful about it, she was like, I love that you are into like Tatcha skincare and like you show me that it's okay to like those things and like not hold back about it. So I feel like though I was blessed with getting validation from somebody else, if you can find a way to validate yourself in what you want, that's the cheat code, is you have to find a way to validate it and try to surround yourself with people that will also validate it. Like if you know that you want like a certain kind of relationship in your life, do not surround yourself with a bunch of Debbie Downers that hate the kind of relationship that you want to have with like a bunch of single people. I said what I said. Like if you want to acquire wealth in your lifetime, you have to stop spending time around people that constantly are saying like money's the root of all evil. And like we could talk about that for days. But like my point is though, that if there's something that you want that you don't feel worthy of, oftentimes you will surround yourself with people that perpetuate that identity. And in order to get out of it, like the life that you want is going to cost you the life that you have, basically. And the sooner you can rip those band-aids off, the easier time you're going to have. Even if it hurts in the beginning, like you will feel better for having done it in the long run. How to let go. Confidence or following your plan, not your mood. I've been using it. Plan, not mood. Okay, so how to let go. I mean, I think that there is always a point of arrival, so to speak. I think that we don't let go until we're ready. And I feel like as the Taurus, as the Taurus in the chat, I am the queen of not letting go. Now, don't talk to me about like friendships. I think I'm the queen of being Casper the Friendly Ghost. If a friendship is not serving me, that's not what I'm talking about. I feel like when it comes to like career, anything that like challenges my stability, I am the queen of death gripping everything. And I feel like for myself, when I have let things go that were not serving me, it you get tired of your own shit. There's no other way to put it. You get tired of your own shit eventually. And you just go, you know what? I'm sick of this situation. And you have no choice but to let go. And I think, like, even right now, as I'm navigating this whole crisis of faith with myself and crisis of, like, what am I even doing creatively and all this stuff, I think the best example I can give is talking about my YouTube channel. Like my YouTube channel, I had so many dreams for Kloee Taylor, okay? I wanted to be in that like top 2% of people, maybe even 1% of people that they make it really big on YouTube. They grow to over 1 million followers. They are well known. YouTube flies them out for events. I wanted to be that kind of person. And multiple times I've gone out for it, right? In the gaming industry, I tried it. In the tarot industry, I've tried it. And I've seen a lot of success, but never to that degree. And this last time that I feel like everything started to backslide, I feel like for the past like 2 or 3 years, I continued to death grip it. I continued to say like, no, we just need to double down. We just need to double down. We just need to double down. We doubled down, sis, and it didn't work. I did the work, it didn't work, as Lizzo would say. I did the work, it didn't work. And at at some point, you have to look at yourself and say, I'm tired of this being my story, and I no longer care what I have to let go of in order to progress my life in the direction that I want to go. Because I also think it's important to assess why you're holding on. What is it that you actually want? Because, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want a million placard, YouTube placard. That's a fine desire. We have desire because it is meant to draw us forward to actually creating things, doing things, making choices in our life, right? Making decisions. And I think desire is such an important element of that. But if our desires are misaligned and like maybe you want that placard because you think that it's going to gain you some kind of credibility or validation, when in reality you could get that elsewhere by giving it to yourself. Or in my case, I wanted that because I thought, if I had that much viewership, if I had that much attention on me, surely I would be making a lot of money. And with that money, I would be able to buy a home. I would be able to start building a foundation for myself and take care of my family. That's my ultimate goal. I don't know if I've ever spoken that out loud, but my ultimate goal is to have like a home and be able to build my own foundation that I've never been able to have in my adult life. And I want that because I crave safety. Safety is my ultimate goal. It didn't used to be. I mean, yes, to some degree, I would say that it's always been there. My ultimate goal for many, many years was just freedom. And I have since, in more recent years, had a change of values. And wow, that's the first time I think I've ever actually realized that is right now in this moment. I have had a change of values. Holy shit. No wonder I'm having a fucking crisis of faith. I've had a shift in my values. I have to leave this in the video. I just had that realization right now while I'm talking. I'm clairaudient, y'all. I get clarity by hearing things. I've had a shift in values. Of course I'm having a crisis of faith. My values have shifted. My original value was freedom. I wanted freedom before I wanted anything else. I require safety now. Safety is my number one priority. Oh my God. Wow. The eclipse is eclipsing. Okay, we'll talk. I'm going to have to come back to that in another episode. Anyways, I feel like for myself, I had a massive shift in values that I didn't know had happened until right now. And that's why everything has felt like shit. And now I'm navigating, okay, if my values have shifted, I'm willing to let go of anything that doesn't match that value right now. And it has led to a lot of hard conversations and having to like let go. But because I want something new to come in and I want the new more than I want the old story, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm just tired of my own shit. Like, I'm tired of my own shit. And no person ever changes until they hit that point. I really believe that. I think when people change for other people, it's never real change. It's just not, they will never be satisfied with that. And I do think sometimes people will change for like their kids. And I think that's different. And I'm not going to touch that because I don't have children. But I feel like outside of that, people don't change for other people. They change because they internally something has shifted. So I feel like when it comes to letting go, it's like the pain of holding on has become too great. And that is where all change comes from. The pain of holding on hurts more than letting go does. And it sucks because a lot of times the heat on your life has to get turned up for that to happen. With following your plan and not your mood, I put a whole episode on about that like a few weeks back. I would encourage you to go back and listen to it if you haven't. Tell us about Hawaii. Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Obviously, like I said, I'm a very codependent person. I feel like doing this has been crazy for me. Like coming out here, doing all of this stuff alone, it's been weird. I've never done something like this in my entire life. I have never done something this independent before. I have never been in another state, driving another person's car, caring for another person's animals. Like, y'all, yesterday I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was a beautiful day. And I came downstairs, I let the dog out, I fed the animals. There's a cat and a dog that I'm watching. I fed the animals, I gave them love, I packed my bag, I made myself breakfast, I slathered myself in sunscreen because, girl, I am white. I'm red, I'm basically a lobster. That's what I turn into if I don't wear sunscreen. 100 SPF. I put my swimsuit on, I put a cover up on, I packed water, I packed towels, I hit the road. The beach isn't too far from where I am. Like it's a not that, like, I don't want to give specifics because it's nobody's business, but I wouldn't say that it's like super far away from where I am. And so got in the car, I headed down to this local matcha place. I picked up a matcha and a little bun for later. This place that I went to, they sell orange cardamom buns that they make in-house. Oh my God, it's so good. I believe the place is called Mele Mele, Melmel. I'm not, or it's not Mel Mel, Melemele, I think. It's by it's like the Hawaii sugar plant or something. It's like over there, if you're familiar with that. But if you're not in Hawaii, it doesn't matter. But if you are, that's where it is. They make these really good buns. Like their matcha is really good too, especially their strawberry matcha. But I went and picked that up. I drank the matcha and I leave the bun in the car because the car's like hot because I'm on an island and it keeps the bun like toasty in the car. Love that for after the beach when I'm swimming and I'm starving as fuck. So then I took myself to a beach that my friend calls it Turtle Beach because there's always turtles there. I literally saw one. I've seen one every time I go. I took myself to the beach. I have just like a little chair that I take out there with me, my towels, my little bag that I packed my Kindle and my journal in. And I went and sat on the beach. I wrote on my journal. And then I went and took like a 45-minute swim in the ocean. And it was fucking amazing. I was like, this should be my everyday life. What am I doing? And this is why I think that I'm eventually going to end up in Florida. I don't think I would ever want to move here to Hawaii. That's just not like, I just think I would get island fever. I don't think I could handle it for long term. But I really think that I'm eventually going to end up in Florida. Probably not for the next several years because I need to, if I do have children, I need to be somewhere that my reproductive rights are protected because I have PCOS. And if there is complication, I need to know that I will be okay. So I don't feel good about moving out that way right now. I think Washington is a good place for me during this time period where I'm uncertain about if and when that's going to happen. All of that being said, it's been really nice. I feel like I've never had a dog before also. And so taking care of my friend's dog, it like puts me on a routine, and having ADHD, you need routine in your life. And this dog forces me to have a routine where I get up early and I go to bed at a certain time, and it's good for me. Like I honestly think that in the future, I have cats right now that I cannot have another animal. Like the cats I have are too many. Um, I think in the future, I really want to have a dog. Like, goddess willing, my cats live forever. But in the event that they pass away, I think I want to get a dog next time. I think it's just been like a very good experience for me. So, all in all, I think it's been a really good experience for me. It's forced me to have to be independent in ways that I haven't had to in a really long time. Like, even just driving the car in a new place that is unfamiliar to me is a lot for me. And I'm just really proud of myself. I feel like it's forced me to confront a lot of my anxiety, and it's forced me to also confront loneliness in a way that I've just never had to before. And also, weirdly enough, I feel like I have so much time in my day, being probably because there's not another person around, like at all, right? It's just me. And I feel like there's just so much time in my day. It's definitely teaching me that like I should be an early riser. Trusting your intuition and how to open up to change. Oh man. Trusting your intuition. I feel like I've really had to work on that right now. As last week's episode, we talked about me having a crisis of faith. I really don't feel like I've been as connected to my intuition. And I honestly think what has helped me the most is having a consistent practice that is just for me. So, honestly, outside of the times that I read tarot cards for YouTube twice a month, Patreon a few times a month, I don't pick up my cards at all unless I want to have like what I would call like a chat with God. I have really come back to using tarot cards like that for myself and just communicating and like asking for guidance. And I feel like that has been really good at helping me to hone my intuition. I also think that just like even coming back to prayer, like I didn't pray, not really. Like I would pray to like other gods like Apollo, Aphrodite, like, and I still believe that. I still believe I can do that. But capital God, the universe at large, I feel like I've really come back around to prayer. I could literally lay down and go to sleep right now. I'm so tired. But I waited until the very last day to make this episode, and I told y'all, rain or shine, sick or healthy, crying or happy, I was going to be here. So this is what we're doing this week. Anyways, what was I talking about? Trusting my intuition and being open to change. I feel like we kind of already covered the being open to change thing, but I think trusting your intuition, it's something that you have to hone. It's something that you have to come to as a practice. And like, this is why I think people that are religious are like really into like their devotional time or their Bible time. I feel like even if you're non-religious, you still need your own kind of devotional. You need your own devotion to self, devotion to that intuition, because that's all it is. Devotion is just to devote, right? And to have devotion, what does that mean? Define devotion. Love, loyalty, or enthusiasm. Shut up, Siri. Love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or cause. So, yeah, devotion. It's not just for religious people. Devotion for yourself, devotion for your intuitive practice. And I would say finding something that makes you feel good. And like I said, like for religious people, I would say that's probably like the Bible. I don't read the Bible. That's not for me. But I really like using tarot cards. I like reading Brianna Wiest. I would say that's probably the closest thing that you're going to get me to read that feels biblical. It's not biblical in any way, but it fuels me like medicinally in a way that like feels comforting to me, that the way that I feel like people like look at the Bible. Reading anything to me on that. I think Rebecca Campbell's work also to me falls into that same category of just like the writing feels like medicine for the soul, right? It's almost like those chicken soup for the soul books, but better. So I feel like coming to a place of devotion with your intuition is what I have been returning to as I have felt so lost. I have been really making myself take time. I think that for the last several years, and when I say several, I mean like my entire adult life, maybe even younger, I've been in this like constant state of fight or flight, just trying to make my life make sense. And for the first time, I feel like I'm making myself come out of that. I'm making myself like sit and journal and watch movies because it sounds comforting and fun to me. Like, do you know how long it's been since I've been able to sit down and just enjoy something? Because like I I let the girl boss era go so hard in my life that like I forgot what it felt like to rest, and I would just be dysregulated in front of the TV instead of actually enjoying what I was doing. Y'all, I'm tired and I'm still really going through it. I'm tired. I'm still really going through it. Even though I'm on this beautiful vacation, I feel like what has happened is I've been so dysregulated for so long. I've been so dysregulated for so long that I'm exhausted. I'm so like, and being here by myself, not having to do like the everyday things that I would do if I was at home, not having to, like, my husband, God bless him, is holding down the fort at home. So I'm not having to think about all of those things at home. And I'm just here and I'm just with myself and I'm going to the beach and I'm crying and I'm journaling and I'm just letting myself like really be with myself for probably the first time in my adult life. And my panic attacks before would have me feeling so fucked up that I couldn't even do that. It felt too scary to be alone and to be with myself because I was terrified of myself because my noggin was not okay. And I finally feel like it's not that way right now. I feel like I can be with myself and sit with myself and everything's going to be okay. Oh, my eyes are tired. They're so tired. Did I get like makeup in them? I don't know. Y'all, I need to go take a shower and I need to get comfy and I need to go lay down. I'm feeling so incredibly exhausted. And I know it's because my nervous system is regulating. I know, I can tell. That's intuition for you. My nervous system has been so dysregulated for so long, and I'm getting the opportunity right now to regulate on my own. For the first time, I am regulating. And I know that this is also very normal to experience this. When you're going through a huge period of like burnout or dysregulation, it is normal for you to want to sleep a ridiculous amount of time. And I haven't even been sleeping that much, but so that's what I got to say for this episode, y'all. This one I'm going to edit, and I know it's going to be such a hodgepodge, but I think it'll be a little bit chaotic and fun. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I know this one was kind of a weird one. Let me know down below in the comments whether you're on Spotify, if you're on YouTube. Let me know what you want to hear about next week because that would really help me out as I'm going through it. I feel like I'm having such a hard time coming up with topics. So please let me know what you want me to talk about because y'all know that I love to sit on the internet and just blab. And I think I'm good at it. So I think it's like an area that I shine. So Let me know what you want to hear about. And if you want to support me as a creator, especially during my messy era, please consider following the Patreon. It is literally how I pay my bills. That and sponsorships. It is literally how I pay my bills. YouTube does not make nothing. The podcast currently does not really make a lot of money on any other platform. That is the best way to support me is Patreon and then watching sponsored content when I have it. So if you would like to support me, please check it out. You get a bunch of extra content. I am vlogging while I'm in Hawaii, and that is going to patrons only. So make sure that you join if you want to see that when it comes out. And thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. And just thank you for supporting me through this messy era. I went back and looked at the comments. I haven't sat and responded to everyone yet, but I will be. Y'all were so nice. Y'all were so nice in the last episode. Like, so many of your comments moved me to tears. And like, I want to sit down and give those the proper attention that they deserve. So thank you so much for all the comments on that episode. And just for all the DMs. A lot of you DM'd me as well. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you all so soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. And do not forget to follow your plan and not your mood. Bye.